I have often said that there are a whole lot of resources in this community that are specifically designed to assist individuals with any kind of problem that they have. And there are quite a few agencies and organizations that do the same. But we're going to talk today about one agency that has been around for a long time and doing a measurable, effective job. So I'm more than a little happy to be able to highlight, feature, emphasize, and all of that good stuff. Good stuff. An agency that's really doing a phenomenal. And the reason I know that they are doing a phenomenal job is because I see the clients that they serve. Not some days, but every day, and I don't even know everything that they are doing. So
Wow.
I'm so happy to have today two people from Loaves and Fishes. Now, Jake, is that the correct? Is that it's Loaves and Fishes, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so I've heard people call loaves and bread and fish and loaves.
I've heard fishes and loaves a couple of times in the last couple of days.
And I like that name because makes you think about the expression of how they use fish in the Bible. Teach a man to fish, and there is an element of teaching in that organization, and we'll talk about that as it relates to that getting a job and working and preparing themselves to do better. I'll finish this introduction in a minute, Jake. But it's my understanding that that you're trying to lift people out of poverty and homelessness, and you all are doing, just a great job in doing that. But don't let me talk about the mission. Uh, I want you to talk about it after I introduce you. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing representatives from Loaves and Fishes, and we're going to begin with the executive director, Mr. Jake Farrow. Take it away, Jake.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much. And now, Alex, you made a very good point about the people that are served by the Loaves and Fishes. I came on board last July, and Valerie was here before me and doing a fantastic job. And I have to do a shout out because you mentioned something I think that's really critical, and that's service above self. And I think Valerie and three others last year during the height of the pandemic stayed in the front lines. Four of them did. There were four people: Shirley Randall, John Sewell, and Deborah Singleton, and Valerie. And they led the charge, and they stayed right on the front line. And that's what Loaves and Fishes is really all about. If you had to, identify one little story, that's a monumental story. We do pass out groceries and nutrition and all those things. I'll let Valerie get into a lot of the details, but I want to shout out for Valerie, because what Valerie does, she does more than just those kinds of things every day. She finds out about individuals. She finds out about the clients. She finds out what their needs are. And she doesn't stop at just one little question. She probes and she really focuses on that. And I mean this from my heart. And I've seen it happen more and more all the time. And what's happened because of that, we have moved from just passing out groceries. It's not just, but passing out groceries and all those important things. But we're starting to change the lives of individuals, and also providing individuals a source of where all the services are, what they can reach for, and eventually be self-sustaining and be self-sufficient. Am I saying that correct, Valerie? I think that's it in a nutshell. And Valerie leads the charge on that. She started a program, and I know this show is not about Valerie Sewell, but I'm going to make this part of my speech, is that she started a program, and she's going to talk about it. It's called the Welcome Home Program, and it took off like a rocket because of her. It would have probably died after one or two tries, but she never gave up. You'll hear more about that detail. But the Loaves and Fishes really tries to reach out to all the community wherever there's a need. Started over almost 54 years ago, and it serves a wide variety of needs throughout the community. again, so finding the source of advice and guidance is another great tribute to the ministry. We meet a new case of something every day, and it's just amazing what I've learned since July. I mean, I've had a feel for what Loaves and Fishes did, but not like it was before. I mean, I'm immersed in it. I love it, and Valerie leads the charge, and she is really a key part of our team, no doubt about it, key leader of our team. So we have 10 church partners. You know, we have 10 now. We have St. Patrick's Catholic Church out of Kathleen, Georgia. So you have really strong church partners that not only provide financial support, but they provide volunteers and donations and food drives and you name it. They're there for us all the time. Some churches that aren't considered our partners because they're not on the list, and I won't name them all, but they'll do food drives for us and they'll do things for us. And during the height of the winter, the cold weather, we've got blankets and stuff from all over the community. And Val will emphasize it, and I do too. I try to, that hey, we appreciate everything that the community does to support us, really tremendously. We had to shut the inside of the center down. We don't let anybody just automatically in when the pandemic started. We have a protocol. You have to come in and wear a mask and do all that. But we still, I'm amazed at how many services that the ministry still supplies and provides for people. So it's a tribute to be a part of a great team and serving a good cause.
That is very, very outstanding. Now, do they just pick up the meals, or can they, sit down and eat?
Well, we don't have a sit down area for eating, but some will stick around outside and so forth if the weather's nice. But Val, Val, why don't you talk about the various meals and those kind of things that I think the programs that you oversee, okay?
Okay. Well, I'll start with our meals. We do a healthy breakfast Monday through Thursday from 9 to 10:30. And they do just walk up, and it's usually bagged up, very nice and neat. And we also even go as far as to giving them hot coffee. They get it and they go. And as Mr. Jake stated, they hang around sometimes because not only do they want that breakfast or that lunch, they want to talk. They have a lot to say. Most of the time it's to thank us, to let us know that if I didn't have this meal this morning, I wouldn't have a meal. And
Right.
That makes us feel good. We're really grateful to hear that from them, as well as lunch. We do lunch every Tuesday at noon, and that comes from our partner churches. And they are also bagged, and it's a sack lunch that they get to go. And then our 3 p.m. meal, we do that Monday through Thursday daily at 3 p.m. And it's a plated meal, a hot meal that's purchased, and we get it, they get it, and they go. But again, they want to stand around, they want to talk to us, they want to let us know their take on it. We try to serve them. We want them to be happy. Because one of the things about me is I want to reach my clients through their stomachs, just like I would my own family. And I want them happy. If I could, I guess, take them all home with me, I would. Just as Mr. Jake stated, I get out there and I question them and I try to serve their every need. I know I can't do everything for them. I know that's just not realistic, but I know I can do something one day at a time.
Right.
Well, Valerie said something, Val, I'm going to interrupt you just for a second, and this is a little while back, but she said something like along the lines of, I like my clients. I like my clients as my friends, something along those lines. And I think at first I heard that and I thought, well, okay, but now I really believe it. I really believe it because you get to know the individuals, you get to know their, I don't know, their moods and, and all those kind of things. And everything isn't absolutely easy all the time, but they are like friends. They become friends, acquaintances, and it's really fun to see that. And we have so many I'm going to say church partners, but we also have people out there in the field that provide us guidance on a number of things. And we want to, shout out to all the agencies that if we call on them, they'll help us. And we have sister groups like, the Daybreak and Salvation Army and the Warming Center and all of them. We're all in this together, as you said, Alex, and serving a purpose. And sometimes, we don't agree on the way things are done in certain areas. But for example, last year, Valerie, correct me if I'm wrong, I think because of the pandemic and also the fact that the Macon Rescue Mission moved to their new site on Zebulon Road, they had historically had a meal at around 3 o'clock, and they'd have it packaged in a styrofoam container and pass it out at that time. And we started partnering with them. They would provide the meal to us. We in turn pass it out to our clients. Well, eventually it grew to the fact that it's our 3 p.m. meal now. And I think Valerie's made it happen such that we tried all kinds of things too to make sure people get a good nutritious meal and within reason too, because we can't afford to, have a Nat Leah's type meal on a daily basis, that kind of a thing. But we can provide really good nutrition. And Valerie's done a great job of searching out for partners. We've got a tremendous number of partners in the community. John Sewell handles Aldi's and Target and all those people that provide things for us all the time. And so partnerships are critical as well, but people make things happen. And Valerie and her team, we're a very small team. And we also provide something else that I'm going to mention it, Valerie, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Deborah Singleton provides a Bible class, an inspirational Bible class on Thursdays at 10 o'clock. She does a really remarkable job with that, but she's providing not only physical nutrition with food like we normally do every day, but it's spiritual nutrition, emotional nutrition. And Valerie, they go in sync with that. It's just marvelous to see. If you ever have an opportunity at 10 o'clock, you're not interviewing some important person somewhere, but come on down at 10 o'clock and listen to Deborah. And actually, we're invited to come down anytime, really, visit us. So.
Thank you. Valerie, talk a little bit, about the clients that you serve, because I know you're trying to approach several elements, not just the homelessness, but also poverty and people who are having different kinds of problems emotionally, spiritually, and, hunger-wise. So talk about your clients for a minute.
Yeah, I want to go let you talk about it, though. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, as Mr. Jake stated, I look at them and I view them as my friends. They come every morning and just like a mother, they come to me and they say, I'm having an issue with this. And sometimes, just like a mother would, if they make a mistake, I have to scold them. They come to me and I set them straight. And believe it or not, they come right back and they've corrected the mistake that they made. They come to us needing IDs. They come to us needing birth certificates, prescriptions, and we provide those services as well. And I follow them to the end to make sure that they get all the documentation they need to move into housing, to move into any type of assistance that they may need, government assistance, food stamps, disability, anything that I can sit down with them and help get them to be self-sufficient, we follow them through. We have young adults, we have elderly seniors, which brings me to our senior grocery program that we now provide. They call in on Wednesdays and they pick their groceries up on Thursdays. We also have our regular grocery program, which is on Mondays, and they pick up on Tuesdays. They call in at 11 and they pick it up on Tuesdays. On Monday, they call in on Tuesdays and they pick up on Wednesday at 11. And then we have that special day, just again, like I said, for seniors, which is Wednesday. They're 60 and older. That just gives them their special day. And so we serve a variety of people. We serve a variety of ages. We have mothers with children. They come to us for specific things. We have coloring books. We have puzzle books. We have puzzles. Anything that will help a mother when they come in and they need help and they tell us I'm living in a motel or I'm at the warming center and I just need something to help me get past this little situation, we start immediately. And myself, as the case manager, I start immediately working on documentation, housing, food, anything that I can help them get over that hump.
Have you found that in a whole lot of instances, your organization serves as a bridge to move, individuals from one place to the other? I do remember
Absolutely.
seeing on the website, and you can talk about that. But what is the STEPPE?
Uh, There's a fellow by the name of Jack Stepp. The center's named after Jack Stepp.
Yeah, well,
No,
I was not familiar, and I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, whether it was
you got it. You got it.
PP or step. So
Yep,
I'm glad you
yep, yep.
pronounced it.
And it's interesting the name is pronounced Step because we do provide a step in the right direction. And
Absolutely,
That's right.
absolutely.
because of him, he was very instrumental back years ago when he was executive director in getting the ministry to continue to grow and develop. So they named the center after him, and it's the Jack Stepp, daycare center or care center. But
Well,
that's what it is.
talk about that for a minute, because I noticed in doing a tad bit of research that there's an opportunity for employment of volunteerism and growth, which in fact might give an individual the experience to move from that volunteer roles to some kind of gainful employment.
Go ahead, Bill. I've got a couple of examples, but go ahead.
Um, well, I'm going to say myself, for example, I moved here. I'm not a Maconite.
That's a
I
good.
moved here um, and I came to Loaves and Fishes just to volunteer. So there are opportunities to come as a volunteer. I came in, and at the time, our director of operations at the time was Miss Judy Sexton, and I spoke with her just to volunteer. And Miss Judy had carried this role for a very long time alone, and she did an excellent job. And when I stepped in the door, having previous experience, she said, God sent you to me, and we've been looking for somebody just like you. I volunteered for exactly 1 month, and I became the volunteer coordinator. And then after a year, I became the assistant director. And now Miss Judy retired, and I am now the director of operations. So there are opportunities, and we are looking for people for part-time positions. And I'll let Mr. Jake take over from there.
That's a great story, and it's a wonderful story, and Val could speak to the next one as well. But we've had clients that have been served by us, and eventually they volunteer, come back and volunteer. We've had several clients get back on their feet, and then we have one, and I won't mention his name, but every so often he'll donate $5 or $10, and with a note that says, thank you, you saved my life. And it's a tribute to Val and the team, because you don't see that. It's kind of unsung and behind the scenes. And but there are opportunities. We have a young girl now that's working just for the last month or so. She's a Mercer student, and she's helping us with communications and helping in the office and so forth. And we're also looking for a part-time bookkeeper, so there's always opportunities that could help people as well as help us. So I think people learn from, volunteering. They really do. There's a lot I volunteered for a couple of years and on the fundraising committee, and I got to throw a pitch in for the foodie fundraiser for this year. It's November 4th. It's on a Thursday, where restaurants give 5% of their gross revenue for that day, and to the Loaves and Fishes, those that we sign up. But I volunteered for a couple of years, and I also helped with various charities. And I fell in love with Loaves and Fishes. I really did. I picked them out, and sure enough, Valerie and I, we've had our differences. Let's face it. I mean, I'm going to be real about it. I mean, we discuss things, and guess what? At the end of the day, we're making things happen. And Valerie will, let me put it this way. This is a tremendous compliment, I think. She's going to say her mind. She's going to say her piece, not just to somebody in the office. I mean, she's not going to make she'll say it to a client, say, listen, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You promised me you would not do this, not do that, whatever. And they look at her and they kind of, bend their head down a little bit. And she's laying it on. And I went, holy mackerel. It's more than a mother would do. And it's a tribute to Val. It really is a tribute. I've seen it happen more often than not. Not so much, it's not ugly, it's tough love. And it's helped people turn the corner.
Yeah, okay, well, what is the STEP Center? Talk a little bit about the STEP Center.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of it, but it's a building that was actually donated to us. We only pay a very small fee per year from the Sam's family, the Alfred Sam's family, and it is the core of our business, our mission, and we do quite a bit out of here. I'm surprised. I was really amazed at first, and we don't do clothing anymore once COVID started. But as Val said, we do groceries, we do meals, we do birth certificates, IDs. We do the Bible class. They felt that it would stop because we can't do it inside anymore. Deborah set up outside. We're setting up. We're looking at doing maybe a pavilion or some kind of a pole barn that she can have some covering over. And so we do a lot in just a little area, just an historic building. We've got some awnings on it, and we just got a new roof, and which we're happy about, so that we could stay dry inside. But it's something happening every day, Alex. It's different.
So really, the STEP Center is your place of operation.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all I should have said. I don't know why I kept talking, but
well, that's okay. I mean, well, we need to talk about it because we need to give recognition to Mr. Step. So, I mean, I'm glad that we spent a few minutes talking about it. So, basically, the profile of your clients, Valerie, is some of them are homeless.
Yes.
And some of them are just impoverished. So,
Yes.
I mean, is there any particular criteria? Let's not finish. Don't let me forget, and Jake won't, I'm sure, to ask if there's any way that the community can support what you're doing. But talk about a little about the profile, if you would, of the clients.
Yes, sir. As you stated, some of them are totally homeless, and we serve them because everybody that's homeless is not that way, like, oh, poor pitiful homeless person. Some of those people want to be that way. Some of them have PTSD, and that's just the way they can survive, just out there alone. And we provide for them. We have what's called My Brother's Keepers backpack program. We provide everything for them. Tents. We provide them a backpack full of non-perishable food items, hygiene items. We have a hand washing station where they wash up, porta potties where they use the bathroom. So that's for our totally homeless clients. Then, as you stated, we have people that are just underprivileged. We don't turn anybody away. Some of our clients just don't have enough to make it over the hump. And they can come here, they can get groceries, they can get the services that they need for prescriptions, IDs, birth certificates. I mean, it's $32 to renew your ID. So we'll pay for that. We have no problem. We understand that sometimes you just don't have enough. You have children, sometimes your food stamps don't cover enough. We don't mind covering that extra for you and your family. So we provide you groceries. We provide you hygiene items. We provide you household supplies. And anything else that we might can find in a resource for you, we try to provide that for you as well.
That is so outstanding. Well, if you could have an outreach to the community, Jake, then what would you solicit? What kind of support or whatever would you solicit from the community for the phenomenal job that you all are doing down there at the STEP Center?
I think I would solicit, Alex, something that's important. That's education. Find out more about what we do. In other words, don't sit back and think it's just a building that we pass out lunches or we pass out meals. It's more than that. We're providing hope for people. So I would solicit the public in the whole community to continue to learn more about what we do and what other organizations do as well. Don't assume something. As you mentioned before, if you make an assumption, um, it's important for them to really find out what we do, what we're all about. The
Well,
heart
what's
and soul of
this process to go about really learning? Can they call? I know we got COVID, so I don't know about visitation, but can they call maybe for a phone conversation?
yes.
They maybe go to the website. So talk to uh, those individuals who are interested, and I'm very interested. Education is phenomenal because I did not know, frankly, that you all did all of that, and I'm glad to use this
Good.
vehicle,
Good.
which they call the Action Talk Show, that I have not introduced.
Yep.
But I'm glad to use a call to action in order to disseminate information about your organization. So, talk about some of the steps in learning more about what you do.
Well, it's interesting. We have a website that's been upgraded now, and it's going to continue to get better. But the simple phone call, Valerie gets tons of phone calls. I'm starting to get a few more, but just a phone call, ask questions about what our services are, and just listen to people. And one thing I found out, and Val is absolutely right, is people sometimes just need a little bit of time to be able to talk, and just work through something and just listening to people. But if somebody wants to know more about who we are and what we do, call Val, call me, call anybody in the organization. Let me tell you one little quick story, Alex, and I know we're probably running out of time, but during the height of the COVID, a lot of people that got the COVID, and guess what? They were quarantined for 2 weeks, and how do you get food? And Valerie found a way, we had people come up, park their car, call us ahead of time, and Valerie would get the groceries and whatever they needed, put them in a cart and cart them out to the car, have our masks on and gloves and all that, and make sure these individuals got their groceries. And you think about that and you say, well, my people had COVID. How are they going to shop? How are they going to get their stuff? They'll find a way. So give us a call. Let's talk. I do all I can to educate people. Valerie's a tremendous source for individuals that want to talk in a lot of detail about what we do. I think it's important. So education is important.
Okay. So now let's provide for them the phone number and the website.
Okay, the website is Loaves and Fishes Ministry.org. That's the website, and it's 478-741-1007. And that's the main number, and there'll be a menu on there. You can call different extensions.
Okay.
Valerie's, I think, is 106. I think is it 106, and mine is 102, and there's 2 or 3 others. But
Okay, well, we really appreciate it. We're running out of time. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Miss Valerie Sewell and Mr. Jake Farrow of Loaves and Fishes, who are doing a phenomenal job in providing much needed services throughout the community to the homeless and the impoverished individual and people who are less fortunate in our community. And then oftentimes people don't realize that these services help the community by preventing crime, helping education, and things of that nature. So we can't take those kinds of services for granted because it benefits all of us. So do you take donations and volunteers?
and we'll listen to
Absolutely.
volunteers and donations, in-kind donations. Somebody has anything they want to donate, like a truck or anything, we'll even look at that. But we'll listen to anything, but mostly the donations go to good cause, for us, or provide our, expenses and so forth. But we have a lot of in-kind donations as well. But Alex, I want to thank you and your organization for doing this for us today. This is an important part of that education, I think, for our community. So thank you for that.
We're so happy to do it. And again, I want to thank you all for all you do for the community, because I want to say this again, there's a rippling effect
Yes.
of the good things that you all are doing, and I really appreciate it. And don't forget to give them a call or visit the website to learn more about what Valerie Sewell and Jake Farrow are doing at the Loaves and Fishes office at the Step Center here in Macon, Georgia. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Haversham. Have a great day.